What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back with another episode of Here We Go Again. In today's episode, we'll be talking about some fantastic AEW matches, as well as some wrestlers who I thought I wouldn't like but turned out to surprise me. All this and more in this episode of Here We Go Again. But before we get into this, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get it.
If you in there, nigga, I'm Ghost.
I think in the future that probably right around the Royal Rumble time, I still got to get some things set when it comes to, specifically, I started working with my old job again. And I'm doing my old schedule for a little bit, and I'm going, bringing the days down a little bit. But I got to get some things settled when it comes to editing and whatnot. And then I'll probably try out doing 2 streams a week when it comes to these Here We Go Agains. But for the most part, I might switch this to like a Sunday thing, so where I could just, cause it's kind of anticlimactic. It's kind of like anticlimactic going from, like, starting from NXT, and NXT is one of the things that I'm liking the most, and ended with Raw. And besides few moments, The Rock returning and CM Punk's moments here and there, Raw's kind of just, it's not it. Granted, I don't really think SmackDown's it like that either, but so instead, if it's like on a Sunday, and also this can help in the future later on with any like Royal Rumbles or WrestleManias or whatever it may be, where we start on Raw, we go out through the week, and then we do it on Sunday instead. And then also, if I watch like a movie, it tend to be at the end of the week, and if I want to like do like a review on the stream, it'd be better for it to be on a Sunday instead. So probably around the Royal Rumble time, I'll be doing these on Sundays instead. But let's get to our normal broadcast, man. We start with NXT. I think there's some other segments going on, or maybe they're just introducing the show. Next thing you know, we get Nikita Lyons versus Blair Davenport. It started in the parking lot, and I put cap, cause if you look at it, I'm pretty sure Nikita pulls up, and then she gets hit from behind. She has her like little suitcase. She's in civilian clothing. Either she is, or both of them are, or one of them are. That's all I remember. And then it gets that little clip, and then next thing you know, they're in the arena and they're fighting, but they're in their ring gear. Listen, I instantly knew. Now, granted, I could go back and be entirely wrong, but I mean, it's not a big deal. I just thought I should, I just noticed that. But I had distractions while I was watching. Yeah, when I was doing this, I had just finished the stream, so I did my timestamp and I was going to eat. And when I was eating, a whole bunch of like videos were playing loud as shit. You know what I'm saying? Other people, doing their own stuff, and I was in the kitchen, so that's tough. I put good match. It wasn't nothing crazy, but a good match. Oh, and then I put Blair was attacking the leg to win. We get Corbin and Braun Breaker versus Callis. I already knew that. I already knew that Corbin and Braun Breaker were winning. Like, Gallus, I don't even pay attention to y'all. I think I just said your name wrong like 30 seconds ago, dude. We got this little, Dusty Cup tournament going on. And yeah, like if we're establishing this team between Corbin and Braun Breaker, we're not going to get rid of it the first round. They're probably going to win the whole thing. It'll probably be them versus Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes. And then Carmelo Hayes will probably do his eventual heel turn right there. And then that's how you get your little tag team, Corbin and Braun Breaker, and then we get that tag team breaking up. Probably. Unless Hayes and Trick Williams don't make it to the finals. But as the show is going on, we're getting these little cutaways to Fallon Henley and Tiffany Stratton of her, helping on the farm and stuff like that. And I put this could be its own little, one-off episode. Now, obviously not like an episode instead of an episode of NXT, but I mean like it's not good enough to be a full-length movie. Definitely not long enough to be a full series, even a mini series. But like just a single episode of anything, of something. Hey man, that was a good enough time. That was one of my highlights of this episode. Probably, I don't know. Well, we get Lyra Valkyria. She's addressing. I put weird audience / ambience. I think there's some noises playing in the background. I was like, what is that noise? Because I think when that happened, this is when I was finished eating. So I put my headphones on. I don't know if it was happening earlier on, but I was like, what is that noise? I don't know if it was piped in noise, but whatever it was, it sounded weird. But then Lola Vice interrupts. It's my first interaction with her. It was crazy. I think I seen a clip and it was like, if you could do DX again, like, and you had to pick people from NXT, who would it be? And then I think Triple H said Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, and then I think he said Lola Vice. I'm not too sure about that one. But Lyra offers up an impromptu title match, and then she gets jumped. I mean, you could have got that W and had an impromptu match and tried to come out on top, but you decided, let me jump her. Just throw away a title shot like that. But then she, gets some backup from Tatum Paxley, and so now we got a match. I think next week when I'm recording this tonight, for Tatum Paxley versus Lyra Valkyria versus Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. We get I don't even know how I pronounce Oso. I don't know, bro. Oh, this is one of the people from Metaphor. And I only remember because I'm like, oh, cool little pun right there. Versus Josh Briggs. And you already know how I was rocking when it came to Lash Legend and the other shorty screaming emotes. They literally did their pose for the entrance, and 5 seconds after, they started spamming screaming emotes once again. The match hasn't even started yet. Yeah, y'all know what it is. Bro, get out my ear. Nasty. But then we have a little moment where there's a little interference and it backfired. Boom, clothesline, 1, 2, 3. And Josh Briggs took the L. That's tough, my guy. We get a tag team match, OTM versus Tony D'Angelo and Stax. I believe that's a little mob gimmick I was talking about last episode. But there's a moment, OTM, they have a better team finisher. Y'all know how I was talking when it came to the Chase U team finisher. I think a lot of moments where I'm like, this is a good team finisher. This is a good team finisher. This one was a good team finisher. And in that video that I was talking about, the trash one, I think it was OTM who's the one who that had the trash finisher. Oh, okay, so y'all did have one, but y'all decided to use it. I don't remember, but I remember um, Tony D'Angelo and Stax watching that match in that clip. I was like, what is this? In this match, y'all had a better one. There was a moment where I'm like, I put the team would have won if it wasn't for the ref's slow count. There was a moment where it was like 1, 2, and then the ref was coming down slow on like the third one or whatever. And it's like, bro, he would have won that. But I guess y'all don't do that rule anymore where, hey, it doesn't matter what's going on, the ref must count to 3. Imagine you knock out Mayweather, and when a ref gets to 9, he just stops counting. You're going to be like, bruh, if you don't count to 10, I know that's Mayweather, but hey, he has to take this L. We already gonna know it's on some BS. Obviously boxing and wrestling. Shut up, dude. I'm trying to make an analogy. But it was for the tag team title. OTM, y'all took the L. Sorry, y'all couldn't get the job done. Mission failed. We'll get them next time. Oh, I put NXT Anon is a good backstage idea. So they had like a video and it was like, this is from NXT Anonymous. I'm like, that's a cool idea, because one of the things that's really holding me back from like liking Raw or SmackDown like that, and then they do it a little more in NXT is, like I said last week, I'm sick of y'all being like, I don't even notice if y'all did this before, because when I came back there was a whole bunch of tournaments, so there was no need to really build up feuds, but it'll be like, a match is happening, okay? You're probably, so the reason why this match is happening, and then they show backstage segments that was never showed on the show. Instead, show the backstage segment, and maybe have some, maybe you don't want to give those wrestlers, promos yet. Have the backstage segments, and then have me care to, let me see a match. Then the match happens. But I don't care when you're like, here's a match. I'm already, if I wasn't doing notes, this is the part of the thing where I go up and get my snacks. Oh, this is a random match, impromptu match. But if I would go up to get my snacks, this is why the match is happening. Well, let me know before the match happens, dummy. But with the NXT Anonymous, you can actually make that a thing where it's not like, oh, hey, they're just going to ignore the camera in the room when they're supposed to be talking crap about this wrestler over here. Okay, if you don't want to have to be a thing, have it be an NXT Anonymous. Have it be someone like, leaking something. Ooh, this person's talking shit. I still think you should have a mixture of everything, but still. That's one of the L's you're taking recently that I've seen coming back to WWE. But we get Cora Jade versus Gigi. You know what I'm saying? It had a little backstage segment. Speaking of Cora Jade, apparently she got injured during a house show. Speaking of house shows, I hate how I don't hear any promotioners, hey, on USA NXT blah blah blah. Like, what is Level Up? I don't know what that is. I just see little thing. I'm like, this match never happened on NXT show. Why are they putting it on YouTube? So I don't know what's going on. So hey, if anything happens on those, they never tell me during the regular broadcast. So that's tough. That's like watching a show. You're a whole bunch of seasons in, and then they want you to understand something that happens in a spin-off show that they've never promoted ever. I put WGG entrance, has personality. What's funny was Cora Jade was booed into oblivion when entering a match. But then, as the match is happening, she's getting cheered. Well, not cheered. She's getting her name chanted. Decent match, wasn't anything too crazy. If I went to NXT, if I went to Hulu, they'd probably cut the match. They just love cutting women's matches, I guess. Then we get Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus Hank and Tank. Now, this is another Dusty Cup tournament match. But they actually had a fire entrance. And actually do teamwork. So one will run in the ring, one will tag in, and then boom, hit him, and then boom, and then running back and like.
Trust me on that thing.
Pass is a pass for both these teams because both of these superstars have fought their partners, and it doesn't necessarily know if that's.
They're like doing combos like Gaming Channel description down below. Marvel Spider-Man 2. You'll go to like stop a random crime. Next thing you know, Miles is there. Y'all do a team finisher. Or Wraith is there, and then you'll hit someone, and then she'll come around, throw them to the ground, and then you'll web them up or whatever. Marvel Spider-Man gameplays in the channel description down below. First one, Miles Morales, and the second one. But I guess he's has a little superhero gimmick, so this is actually something that's pretty cool. And also, this allows you to do some effects where, I'm gonna be honest, most of the little effects when it comes to entrances, and y'all do it specifically for Raw and SmackDown, I'm not really the biggest fan of. The only ones that I like is, I think it was Lashley, and not Judgment Day, because Judgment Day they have a little CGI thing, and then and I think Becky, because Becky they have like her face, but it's obviously not like, hey, we're trying to recreate her face, but it doesn't look good. Like y'all do the little snake for Randy Orton, and okay, yeah, he's the Viper, but this snake looks bad. It looks like early 2000 CGI. With Judgment Day, it's obviously like this is not a real thing, but it's a cool little visual, especially since they added the little R-Truth joint in there. We're going to get to that in a second. But a lot of the things is like, here's some terrible CGI things relating to the person's gimmick, and it just doesn't look good. And then we go to them at the entrance ramp. I think Bobby Lashley was like, it was someone, I don't remember. I think it was him. It was smoke and lightning, and then it transitioned to him at the entrance instead of, we're making it look like this is in the audience. Miz has a good one too. You can tell it's not great CGI, but it goes with the character, and it's not like on top of the screen, in the middle of the screen. It's like displaying as if he's at like a red carpet event. It's not like here's this random CGI explosions like he's in an action movie. Like, no. But with Axiom, it makes sense to have the little CGI in there and having him like looking like he's like running like the Flash. Didn't think I liked this. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think I would like this match. I wasn't too. I'm like, Nathan, who is this guy? He didn't really stand out to me. Another person in a mask. Like, I was never big, and the only person who I really cared about with a mask was Kane. But specifically for guys who aren't like, Kane is the big red machine. Okay. Other than Rey Mysterio, like who? Sin Cara? No. I mean, Dragon Lee puts on good, decent matches, but like, I don't really care for him other than that. But this one, I'm like, hold on, it's kind of interesting. At first, I was like, you just look like a random masked wrestler. Don't really care that much. You know what I'm saying? This team up was like a little Flash and Quicksilver. But yeah, didn't think I liked this match, but turned out to be surprised. Speaking of Dragon Lee. Hold on. Speaking of Dragon Lee, for the NXT North American title match, we get Dragon Lee versus Lexis King. Lexis King, you were not winning this unless they were just trying to like make you a super heel. I didn't think you were winning this in the slightest. Oh, Booker T was making fun of Lexis King. He was like, "What's up with the headband?" I was like, "Dang, I kind of like the headband, man. You gonna disrespect it like that?" And then I put 2 minutes into the match. We get a commercial break with 4 minutes left of the show. So the match started, and then 2 minutes later, we go to commercial, but we got 4 minutes left. Now, you can kind of do that for shows because they can kind of do like a small little end credits thing, even though it's not after the credits. Where it's like, oh, hey, we're back. And then, oh, hey, here's how we resolve this. Blah, blah, blah. Then here's the real credits. Then they go to the next program. But this is, I mean, granted, you kind of did that a little bit. But y'all spamming too much, dude. But next thing you know, Obafemi cashes in, bruh. He cashes in basically his Money in the Bank contract for his little breakout star. Now, I didn't think he was gonna cash in. I knew he was gonna try to make an attempt, or like they hint at an attempt, because he had a backstage segment and then talking about, I think Lexis King came up to him and talking about, oh, hey, I don't remember who it was, but he was like, oh, I can do this now and anytime I want. And so I was like, maybe he tries tonight. So now he's the new NXT North American champion. But during this, they do a little what's it called? A little promotion for a women's battle royale, and then the last 4 members, it will turn into a fatal 4 match. That's actually, cool little idea. So these are my predictions of who are the final 4 are gonna be. Nikita Lyons. Well, one of them was Cora Jade. So 3 of these I put, some replacements, in case something bad happens in the match, or I don't know which one of them I would have picked. Roxanne Perez, and I said, not sure, maybe Fallon Henley. If it's not her, then I put maybe Tiffany Stratton. If not Cora Jade, then I put maybe Gigi. And then if not Nikita Lyons, I put maybe Blair Davenport. But it turns out, Cora Jade, you're not gonna be in a Final 4 regardless now, unless somehow your injury was an overreaction. Now we get AEW Dynamite. I put Unique Arena. I think yeah, this is one of those at Daly's place. So this is my first time seeing that. Apparently it's a big part of their company, but this is my first time seeing it. Like I said, about like five weeks into AEW. So I do believe I was maybe like 5 minutes late into this. So when I was watching, we get Claudio versus Hangman Adam Page. I put Claudio was using the layout to his advantage, throwing him over into the ramp. At first, I didn't know that was the ramp at first. Cause how the angle is, that's usually like a part of the crowd. Like the camera angles is usually entrance, and then the hard cam is right here. But the hard cam was kind of like angled a little bit. Hangman Adam Page ends up winning. We get Orange Cassidy, Preston Vance, Dustin Rhodes, and listen, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to keep calling you Edge, bro. Sorry. I can't keep Adam Copeland, nah. And I think we got a whole bunch of Adams. Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page. I can't. There's too many Adams. You're Edge, bro. Sorry. Versus Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, and Lance Archer. In this match, Orange Cassidy was insistent on trying to get a choke slam. They kept talking about it in the commentary. He kept trying to do it every time something would happen. He finally got his choke slam. Decent match. Orange Cassidy, Preston Vance, Dustin Rhodes, and Edge ended up winning. We get Samoa Joe. He went out there to talk that shit. He's like, you don't gotta blah blah. You don't gotta go online and make your little hoe ass comments. Basically, like, hey, I'm with the shits. Whatever you trying to do, let's get into it. So next thing you know, we just hear, whose house? Here comes Swerve Strickland. Interrupts. Then Hangman Adam Page decides he wants to pull up. And then Hook. So everyone's just trying to, everyone's trying to get their foot in the door. We get a little backstage segment with Toni Storm. We get a backstage segment with Toni Storm. Toni Storm's I don't even remember what she was talking about. Then I just remember Renee asking, what did you think of Mariah May's match? Mariah May basically, what did you think of it? Blah blah blah. Oh, I'm very busy. How did it go? Did you do an arm drag? Then, like maybe 30 seconds pass. She's just talking. She goes to say her little shtick. She's like, line. And then Mariah May proceeds to say and watch for the shoot. She's like, you took my line. So still Toni Storm, I don't care, man. I don't care if anyone says anything. I like her, man. We get Sammy Guevara versus Ricky Starks. There's a little, I don't know if they were playing it for, I don't know if it was a work, but there's a moment where Sammy Guevara hits a little moonsault, and like I said, this is a unique venue. So the barrier is pretty close to the ring, so they're pretty close right there, and when Ricky goes to grab him, looks like messed up his shoulder a little bit. They keep talking about it on commentary. Don't know. Granted, he didn't really, from what I've remembered, didn't really look that hurt during the street fight. But it was a good match. Next thing you know, Sammy goes to give Ricky a handshake. Hesitant a little bit, shake his hand. Next thing you know, Big Bill pulls up and they jump him. Then we hear Judas play. They thought they were slick. Listen, I peep everything, bro. You cannot, even when you started doing the backstage segments and interview, you try to have it strictly on the interview and no crowd noises played. Oh, they might know what's going on there. Let's mute all the other backstage segments so they don't catch on. Maybe they just think it's, what we're doing now. But when Jericho goes to help out his friend, throughout the whole entirety of the little segment, they kept playing the song just in case anyone decided to boo or chant anything about the little allegations. Now, from what I've heard, during that segment, I don't think anyone really booed. In fact, I think there was some cheering, and we're going to talk about cheering in a second. But you're not slick. And granted, you can't do that forever. We get Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander, Anna Jay, Thunder Rosa versus Ruby Soho, Saraya, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. As they're doing a little entrance, see a sign that says let Stokely manage you. It's him in the crowd. Hey, he say he gonna keep simping. You can't ever stop him. It was a decent match. There's a moment where we get a cool little 8-woman suplex. So it starts off. You know how it is when they're about to do the suplex, and then oh no, the opponent's like, nah, I'm not gonna let you. And then sometimes they reverse them, or sometimes they end up getting the suplex anyway, or sometimes they maneuver and do something else. So it's like, oh no, I'm not gonna let you get the suplex. Someone else comes in. Okay, I'ma help. We gonna get this double suplex. Nah, I'm not gonna let you still. Other person comes in. Okay, we're gonna double your suplex. We get to like 6 women in there, all in there trying to do suplexes.
Been through it all. Remember Chris Statlander, she was TBS champion. That was until Julia Hart.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now hold on a second.
I don't remember who the 7th person was, but when they get there, they go on the wrong side. Oh shit, I'm about to suplex my entire team. Hold on. They go back on this side.
Oh man, they might be. This is like a quadruple.
The final woman comes over.
Exactly. A quadruple suplex. 8 women. 4 go over the top.
Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa end up winning. We get Roderick Strong versus Brian Keith. Nobody thought Brian Keith would win. I don't know if it's just me. Now, granted, I can be saying these things where no one thought this person was going to win, but never once did I believe that Brian Keith would win. Brian Keith, ever since I seen you in AEW, you did nothing but lose. Every time you're in a match, like, there was never interest to really see anyone in that match. Maybe you had like triple threats or like fatal 4-ways where one person there's some interest and that's the obvious winner. But every time I'm like, oh cool, bounty hunter gimmick, okay. But I just didn't really care. But we get a tornado tag match. Sting and Darby Allin versus Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs for our main event. Now, this is a better showing for Sting than my first outing when it came to him. Now I know he's getting up there in the injuries and age and whatever. And Darby, he got to kind of try to carry. But this one, he held his own even though it was more or less, hey, we're focusing on other people than really Sting. But Sting, had his moments. There's a moment, though. Speaking of moments, there's a moment where Hobbs and Takeshita, like a little hammock. Now, granted, did they really need... his name is Powerhouse Hobbs. Did they really need 2 people? Because remember last week, Takeshita picked him up and damn near threw him across the ring just by himself. At that point, it was overkill. If anything, which would have been even more crazy. Now, granted, I'm not saying what happened wasn't a crazy incident. I'm just saying, like, they both got the strength somehow, some way to do crazy things. But if they would have threw him over the turnbuckle, but they threw him all the way across the ring. Crazy moment regardless. And then I put Ric Flair, stay out of the ring. Now, thankfully, they learned a little bit from their mistakes, because when I was about to start watching, I had no idea that you were even in the mix with AEW. And then, right around the time when I'm like, okay, let me start watching AEW, it's like a couple days before. We get Ric Flair and then he's out giving like chops to someone and it's looking terrible. I don't remember who it was to. I'm like, good Lord, what am I about to go into? What am I about to go into? I'm like, bro, you're still, like I said before, I don't know if I said it right here, but just live vicariously through your daughter, bro. I'm sorry, your days are done. I never been a Ric Flair guy, but those days are numbered regardless. But this one, they did it a little differently. He tried to do his chops. Powerhouse Hobbs was no selling. Obviously, like, you're not going to feel that. And basically was looked at him like, bruh, get out my face. You'll get wrecked. Ric Flair, was getting out of the ring. He was slow as shit, but he got out of the ring nonetheless. Like, we don't need a whole bunch of old men who can't, like, we don't need the retirement home wrestling show. We don't need that, bro. But there's a moment. Damn, y'all got like 2 moments this week. Got me flashing back to like some type of like Shane McMahon shit. Shane McMahon was on some Daredevil shit. Not Daredevil comics, like on some crazy risking their lives type events. But the first one this week is we got Darby Allin decides to, let me climb up I don't know if he climbed the screen or he climbed just one of, support beams or whatever. But he was up at least like 15, 20 feet. At least. And does a coffin drop from there. And I believe there was on the ramp to Takeshita. And Takeshita, no disrespect to you, I don't even think you got him all. Coffin drop from there. There's a lot of things that I'm like, hey, okay, I'll try that out. I don't think I would ever try that. I wouldn't even try it if we were on the ring. Now, if we legitimately had like, if we're on like in a movie scene and we did something like that and they have the paddings and shit like that, okay, I could do that. I ain't going for in the in a wrestling ring on the ramp. I'm not going for that. Coffin drop? No, sir. Crossbody? No, sir. I'm trying to think what. Yeah, that's tough. I don't even know if I'll do that regardless. But then Sting, hits a death drop off a, I don't know, I think they were on the little part where in Daly's place where the fans are near the entrance. I think there was around there, and then they went onto some tables. And Sting, he looked like he took a pretty rough fall, but he got the pin nonetheless. But I put, Takeshita and Darby carried him. It is what it is. Sting was having his moments, but they mainly focused on Darby Allin and Takeshita. Sometimes they had Powerhouse Hobbs come in and do his thing with Darby pause, but mainly we were trying to get another Takeshita versus Darby Allin, because so far being back, that's in my top 5 so far being back. Not of all time, but like the matches that I've seen so far. But that's all she wrote for Dynamite. Now we got AEW Rampage. We get Eddie Kingston versus Willa Yuta. Eddie Kingston, it was for his title. Eddie retains. I haven't really been the biggest fan of Willa Yuta. You only had that one match, and I was like, oh, that's Evan Bourne, and that was really the only thing that stood out to me. We had a little backstage segment with the Hardys and Matt Briscoe. I said Briscoe looks like a strong crackhead, cause he's swole, but he ain't got the teeth. Like, bro, if man pulls up on you like that, like, you think he's about to rob you with his fist. He ain't got money for a gun, but he need the money. So you better he swole. Well, granted, hey man, he probably not Matt Briscoe specifically, but how you look like, you probably don't got the hands. But if you hit me once, I'm gonna be sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be looking. I'm gonna be looking like Sting was at the end of his match. His match on Dynamite. We get Swerve Strickland versus Matt Sydal. Put Swerve as that guy. It's a pretty decent match. You know what I'm saying? I think this is one of the first matches I've seen by Swerve that's not like been a part of a tournament. Or that wasn't... has he done a tag match? I don't remember. We get Queen Aminata. Okay, so that's what it was. Queen Aminata. I remember it sounding similar to Queen Amidala. Star Wars. But it was Aminata. Because I kind of rushed it weird when I wrote my notes last time. And we get Hikaru Shida. Because like Shida got that anime interest. So not only does she got the little Street Fighter-esque outfit, she got the little anime entrance. So there's a part in there, and see, these are one of the moments where, for me personally, I can either hate it or love it. So there's a moment where they're sitting. I believe Queen. I don't remember how they got in this position, but there's a moment they were back to back laying on the, not laying, sitting on the ground, and Hikaru says, Aminata. And she said it like she screamed it and said it like fast. So I didn't know if she was speaking a different language, and I didn't hear her. But it wasn't until like after the fact I was like, oh, she said Aminata.
Wow. Whoa. But Hikaru Shida returns fire on the Queen.
Basically asking for a kick. So those going back and forth like giving kicks to the back, and they just started eating them.
She got Aminata's best shot. And now Aminata returning the favor.
Wow, how about this? This is entertaining, guys.
When you try to finesse someone, it doesn't typically go well. They try to give their best kicks. Aminata tries to take advantage, but instantly regrets it.
Aminata with a handful of hair. A series of kicks to the spine and one big one to punctuate that. As Aminata to the ropes, the knee. Oh, but Shida.
Yeah, she caught it.
Shida intercepts the knee, and now dragon screw.
The reason I said it could be a hit or miss, because typically when I'll see something like that, I'm like, okay, dude, what are you doing? What is this? But that was one of the moments where I'm like, hold on, she kind of growing on me. Because when she had her match with Anna Jay, I did not really care that much. I mean, y'all seen the notes that I gave. A fan screamed this. Anna Jay was looking thick. She was looking like a Street Fighter character. But this one got me a little interested. It seems like we have a couple interesting, gimmicks that I like. And we have a couple interesting women wrestlers that I like. But we get the Dark Order versus Papa Magic. Listen, I refuse to say that word ever, unless I say, I'm sorry, I just can't say it. I can't call you that. I'm sorry, bro. It's just not in me to say that. Pause. Versus Jake Hager and Cool Hand Aang. I had to look up your name, bro, because I'm like, what did they just say? And they put it on the screen for like half a second. I'm like, all right. But the Dark Order ends up winning that. Oh, by the way, Shida won the last match. Swerve won the match before. There's a part where they called it the pendulum bomb. That's what they called it. That looks like a cool team finisher. So that's another team finisher that I said looks like a good one. Actually, this is probably like the 4th or 5th one if we're including last week's. But that first finisher that they did on Chase U at that one NXT, that shit was trash. This one was a good one. And that's how we ended the show. Now, after the fact, I found out that those 8 people tag matches was booked by a kid whose dad passed away. I didn't look too much in it, but that's all I heard. Now we got Smackdown. Now Smackdown, ironically, I was watching Smackdown and AEW, like, not really side by side, but basically I was watching AEW Collision as well as Battle of the Belts. And anytime that one commercial, I started watching the playback for Smackdown on Hulu. So there's a moment where I was saying to myself, because they're on different pages. So I'm like, okay, I got to remember to go back and forth. And I'm like, of course I'm going to remember. And I ended up, you see Smackdown, and they see this little symbol right here. That's for me to remember to go back to AEW right there. But I just want to mention this. It's crazy how I was watching both of those side by side. I get 3 hours of AEW live with commercials feel a lot smoother than 90 minutes of Smackdown with the commercials taken out of it. See, this is the thing. When it comes to, I'm just holding out for hope. So I'm holding out after we get to Royal Rumble and we really start building up to WrestleMania season, that we can get more CM Punk. All those people who are tied to the bloodline wanting to get it back in blood, that at least by WrestleMania, all of those can be resolved. But hopefully some of them can get resolved before. Everyone's talking about LA Knight, but LA Knight is just one of the few people who are like, I gotta go get the bloodline. Got Randy Orton. Randy Orton's been that guy for basically 20 years. We got AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been that guy, not specifically in this company, but in other companies all over. Specifically TNA. We're going to talk about TNA in a second. So, I can see, LA Knight, I've seen clips where, okay, yeah, he's pretty good on the mic. But let's say I never seen that. Coming back and going straight into viewing it weekly, I would not know to like LA Knight. If I didn't hear him hype to the moon and be like, let me go see what this guy's about, I'll just be like, okay, LA Knight, yeah, that's all he does? That's what I would think if I didn't see those other things. But I think, hold up, let me see. No, I'm tripping. Last week they finished their tournament for the U.S. title. So that takes one less tournament out and more room for more feuds. And, we have some backstage segments with Carmelo on SmackDown and Bronson Reed on Raw. But speaking of Carmelo, is that? Am I tripping? Bro, why does it looks like camera Grimes? That's what it looks like on my thing, bro. I don't know who this is. Didn't care. I didn't even know who the. I don't even know who the winner was. Oh, I put Jay. Oh yeah, okay. So they were going to the ring. It was Grayson Waller and Austin Theory in the ring, and then the opponent was about to pull up. I put JK. Bloodline said not today because they were like, "Oh, hey, you wanna say this fatal 4-way for the championship at the Elimination Chamber?" They said, "Okay, we're gonna cause havoc." So then we get we get Angel and Humberto versus LWO. Carlito pulls up, attacks Santos, who's on commentary, and I didn't write a winner. I haven't really been real big on like they haven't really given me anything to get invested with. I'm gonna be honest. Oh hey, Carlito's back. That's it. If Carlito was some random person, I would not care really much of anything dealing with the LWO so far that I've seen. We get a Carmelo Hayes backstage segment with Nick Aldis, Grayson Waller, and Austin Theory. So we get a match set for night. But Carmelo's moving up. Because I thought he was going to be, a SmackDown guy. I thought he was going to be the one who either at least, he did get to the finals. But I thought he was going to win to finally get his moment on, to actually be on SmackDown. Not just, oh, hey, there's this NXT guy in the tournament. So I think they did 1 week with him not being on the television. And then he had this little backstage segment. So I'm like, okay, so he is going to be on SmackDown. We get Bianca Belair versus Bayley. There's a moment in the match where Bayley ties Bianca's hair up to the rope. And as this was happening, the ref was just sitting there. Hey, you can't do that. What are you doing? Bro, if you don't say, hey, stop, I'm going to disqualify the match if you continue this, or whatever it may be, not just, hey, no, don't do that.
Van Engler, and it was not happening in that instance, and now Bayley looking to tie Bianca to the bottom rope with her own trademark. All perfectly legal. To take the top of Belair. That might do it. Bianca's rocked.
This ref was completely useless. Absolutely useless. Then we get a little, you know what I'm saying? We get a little riff between, hold on, where am I at? Oh, we get a little rift between Damage Control. So you know how they be, cause the distraction, and then they gonna beat up the person, and then that's how they gonna do it. Bayley's like, let me cause the distraction. Damage Control is sitting there like these. And then something else happens in the ring where they could have helped. Damage Control just like. Then they try to have this backstage segment. I thought you guys were going to have my back. The ref was watching us. We thought you can handle her by yourself. It's not going to last, man. It is not going to last. So this is right around the time when, because when I started watching this is on Friday. No, this is on Saturday. So it's about to be Collision. And so they don't put Smackdown up until like 6:30 p.m. So this is right around the time when AEW goes live. So no. But yeah, I started watching right here, and then AEW went live. And so I'm trying to watch them back and forth at around this time. So then we get Karrion Kross and AOP. So now they're officially dubbed the Final Testament. Hold on, this could be cool. I don't know any of y'all. All I know is I heard Karrion Kross made predictions that came true. So that plus the name, we could, hold on, this could be something a little cool. This could be like, I imagine if let's say the companies merge for 1 year only, the companies merge. This could be a cool little like feud if they was going against like House of Black or something like that. Bars. But we're gonna have to see where they go, because I heard that he's been doing his gimmick and it has been working. So maybe this could be something that could help him out. But we get Carmelo Hayes versus Austin Theory. Oh, there's a moment in the match. Austin Theory is like,
Hayes. Theory's going to have the experience advantage.
What do you mean by that?
you can't boy me like that. Hold on. They probably couldn't get away with it, but imagine if they had someone's gimmick to be a racist. That'd be pretty hilarious. I'm be honest. Now, granted, you can't have that person be the top person in the company, then it's gonna really look bad. But I'm saying, like, just having some random heel, that'll be hilarious. Then you see them like get their ass beat after their whatever feud going on. But there's a moment where I don't even know, because they got me questioning from Dragunov to Imperium versus Kofi and Jey Uso to Kofi and Ludwig Kaiser to now this. They got me questioning. I think this one looked kind of legitimate, because even when they did, I was like, oh, that looked kind of weird.
Great stadium criticism. Oh my yikes! That did not end well. Theory may have. Our official's gonna call the match off.
But they did it, and it looked like when they landed that their heads like slapped against each other on the way down. The ref ended up calling the match after that. And then there's a moment where like Grayson Waller was, and he was like, looked legitimately like, oh, this shit was not supposed to happen.
Theory and Hayes landing high on the crowns of their skulls.
I believe one of them, I don't remember if it was Carmelo, but I think Carmelo's looking like, damn. Kind of, it's like if you get a promotion and then a month after you get the promotion, you fuck up. It's like, damn, bro. I just got this promotion. Like, I don't want to look bad. So I think it was Carmelo, but one of them looked like, damn, we messed this up. Also, fuck, my head hurts. But in the main event, we get... So throughout the whole show, this was one of the things that was somewhat intriguing. We get Paul Heyman backstage trying to... Because we get an impromptu match because they wanted to cause havoc and they wanted to break up the triple threat last week. Oh, hey. We're going to get a Bloodline versus LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Randy Orton. Oh, Roman Reigns is not here? Okay. Well, then you'll find anyone you need to help. Paul Heyman's trying to find people. Jimmy's like, I'm worried. He's like, don't worry, I got it. I'm worried. Then he's like, you know what? Like, y'all are enough to win, blah, blah, blah. The whole time, Solo's like, I'm not worried. And then Jimmy's like, well, okay then. Well, I guess I'm not worried either. That's Cap, Your Honor. They wasn't able to find anyone. So now we get Randy Orton, LA Knight, and AJ Styles versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa. Before the match started, Randy Orton gets jumped as he's making his entrance. So it turns into a tag team match. Well, granted, it was a tag match, but it turns into a traditional, tag team match. But there is a moment in the match. The ref sounded like someone's mom, where LA Knight and Jimmy Uso are outside the ring about to start something. And she sounded like someone's mom talking about something. No, you go back over there. Jimmy, now. I was like, damn. Got me thinking I gotta, yes ma'am. Like, bruh. and the funny thing is, they listen, no hesitation. Usually a ref gotta damn near like about to call the match, unless of that case of that Bailey match earlier. But in this case, they listen without hesitation.
And again, this all comes down to tag team chemistry. Jimmy Uso and Solo may not be a...
Yes, ma'am. They went straight to where they needed to go. But next thing you know, looks like the Bloodline's get an upper hand. Then we hear voices. I already knew Randy was not going to be out of this match. You're not going to have Randy just randomly get beat up and then he's just out of that match. And it made it even more obvious because he had his little situation at War Games. Why did that even happen? I wasn't watching during that time, so why did that even happen of why he wasn't there to begin with in War Games? But there's a moment where Randy gets hit with a super kick. Oh, he does his little whole little shtick in the ring. And then I think he's about to get hit. He's about to do the RKO. He gets hit with a super kick. And then Jimmy still gets hit with an RKO. And Randy go ahead and gets the pin. But there, I said, Bloodline gets a taste of their own medicine. Because now, the numbers are not on their side. Where's their tribal chief? He at home watching you get your ass beat on live TV. Smackdown ends with Randy. So everyone's hitting their finishers on Jimmy and Solo. And they get outside the ring, and I believe they do a triple power bomb. They do a triple power bomb to Solo Sikoa through the announcer table. So SmackDown ends with Randy saying, Randy is always known for screaming something out or doing something like crazy. His whole little celebration when he gave Mark Henry that RKO. His little stupid to Kofi Kingston. I don't remember if he yelled out something when he got his like foot stuck in the little hole in the announce table. But now he ends the show talking about screw his big ass. And we can't forget, ever since he came back, anytime he does his little elevated, DDT, he gotta yell out something going all crazy. So now we got AEW Collision. So yeah, I only got one match in there. You see the line, that's so I can know to go back. We get Lee Morort. Listen, that name's always difficult for me. Chad challenges Adam Copeland. So the theme started fire. Granted, I listened to the theme off camera and it sounded better, but in the arena, the theme sounded fire, and then I was like, what is this? But he starts off talking about, yeah, he's talking himself up and I'll make you tap out. Well, that starts a match, and it's kind of funny. He didn't win with a spear, and he didn't lose regardless. How did he win? He made you tap out. So you come out here saying, I'm gonna make you tap out, and then you ended up tapping out. I'm sorry, bro. For the next couple weeks, I cannot take anything you say seriously. We get a Chris Jericho promo. I put with obvious pipe-in applause. I think there's like 2 times this week where I'm like, obviously that applause has been piped in, because what was that? But then we get Lance Archer and The Righteous versus Gates of Hell and Brian Cage. We get Jake the Snake Roberts ringside. But there's a moment where I don't remember what he was doing. But Jake the Snake punches Prince Nana. Then the fans chant, "You still got it." I mean, it looks better than Ric Flair's chops, but all he did was punch him. You still got some mobility. I guess that doesn't work. I guess you still got some mobility doesn't work. So they got to chant, "You still got it," like he just performed a 5-star match. He didn't perform a match anyway. He just punched somebody. But still they chant, "You still got it." But this match ends with Gates of Hell and Brian Cage, and they win by using the pedigree. Now, granted, you don't have a monopoly on that move, but I just had to say it. We get Dustin Rhodes versus Willie Mack. Dustin Rhodes ended up taking the dub on that one. Hangman Adam Page versus JD Drake. Hangman Adam Page gets the dub on that. So at this moment, this is when I'm like, okay, I'm starting to know some of these people a little more. And also, I'm not going to sit there and break down everything. Like, I'm already at an hour recording. It's probably I only probably took a couple of minutes out of it when it's posted on YouTube. But I'm not going to sit here and do a breakdown for breakdown. I'm going to just say the things that popped out to me that are good or bad and talk about mainly the story. And then I'll just say, hey, this person won. This person lost. Oh, this is my first time watching this person's match. This is my first introductions. So now we got a lot of introductions done. So I'm like, granted, I don't know JD Drake. But, I know a little bit of Hangman Adam Page. I know Dustin Rhodes. I don't know Willie Mack. And they didn't stand out for me to really give a note to them. So, next we get Deonna Purrazzo versus Red Velvet. It's pretty funny. I always like when y'all do unique entrances where it's just not like, from this city, weighing in at blah, 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 this person. So, Orange Cassidy, we get from whatever, weighing whatever. And for Red Velvet, we get straight out your mama kitchen. Okay. Hey, man. I like that. Keep it up. What I did notice was Deonna was looking like Katana from Mortal Kombat. And then Red Velvet was looking like a fake knockoff Vigilante.
Yeah, 2 years almost. It's on both ends that time.
But Deonna wins by a cool little submission move. I was like, oh, that looked kind of cool. Where I don't know if she's been using this finisher. Like, this is my first time, hearing about her. And I believe, I don't know how she has it, but she was doing a one-arm little maneuver, and then she had both arms back like these. Listen, I'm tapping out. You got to catch me. But, she wins by that submission move. We get Hook versus, I don't even, it literally says Hook versus. I put Hook thinks he's Batman with his little Hook symbol. And the reason why it just says Hooks versus, because his match lasted, I jokingly put his match last as long as me. Because the match was short as shit, bro. The match was shorter than a WWE commercial break. Put it like that. We get House of Black versus FTR and Daniel Garcia. So obviously, last week they had the little situation where House of Black during their match with FTR, they needed help. Daniel Garcia pulled up. So now we got this match set up. House of Black, they have a fire entrance. No pun intended. But I'm cooking. Please, no injuries. Now, if y'all don't know what I mean, I was cooking. I look back, and that's when I see, in that NXT moment, I see Dragon off like these. Everyone's quiet. I just see them like these. The next week on Raw, I was cooking. And that's the whole little Kofi moment. And then they had to get the matchup out of the way. So I said, I'm cooking. Please, no injuries. Because I already know this was about to be a crazy match. So I needed no one to do something crazy and then be injured. Because this is worse than, oh, hey, I did something. This is worse than a work, obviously. And this is worse than I did something I could be out for maybe a couple weeks or a couple months. Because if we all do something crazy, that's a couple months minimum. Malachi Black and Daniel Garcia steal each other's taunts. So, I mean, I'm just using context clues. Because I vaguely remember seeing someone just like sitting in the ring, like doing like a random pose. And then, so that's what Daniel Garcia does. And then, was it Malachi Black? Oh yeah, Malachi Black goes up like this. Oh, he's about to do the dance. Hits him with a middle finger. He said, hey. They probably was going to have him do the dance, but then he was like, oh, you don't look too good doing the dance. So it was like, okay, just have him flip him off or some shit. But he flips him off. And so as this match is going on, they keep doing some crazy shit. So I'm like, not trying to use the actual lingo as like people use the lingo nowadays, but I said, please let me cook. Cause I'm trying to focus on my food. I don't want to burn it, and I don't want to have it bubble up and create a big mess. So I'm like, please let me cook. Stop doing crazy shit. And then I said, as soon as I wrote that, I think they went to picture-in-picture. When it was the picture-in-picture, it's a nice idea. I appreciate it. But I'm still not gonna sit there and try to watch the picture-in-picture. Like, usually I'm doing something as well as writing notes as I'm watching, so I need the sound as well. House of Black ends up winning with a curb stomp. Great match, not as good as last week, but still. Then we get AEW Battle of the Belts. We end Collision with the beginning of Battle of the Belts. So they're like, and the AEW Battle of the Belts will be continued. Hold on. I'm getting blah, blah, blah. And so they cut to Street Fight. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara versus Big Bill and Ricky Starks. So that's how we end Collision and start Battle of the Belts. And this was a legitimate, real street fight. Chris Jericho is choke slammed, and it's like basically the ground, but you know they try to put like a pile of leaves to like try to like halt to try to slow down the fall, cushion the fall. I mean. But then maybe 30 seconds after that, they're like, Where is he? Where is he? So next thing you know, soon as they say where is he, and they have the camera line up a little bit, I'm like, he's about to be in some sort of vehicle. Someone's gonna get hit. Next thing you know, you see the lights turn on, and they're just like, Now, me personally, I got the Hall of Fame juke moves. You're not hitting me. I think they should have didn't have the build up so that it could be more feasible for them to, you know, not get hit. But still, whatever, it's a show. There's a moment where Sammy Guevara gets hit with a bag. Oh, what's in the bag? He pulls out like 3 bricks and he grabs the last one, tries to throw it at Sammy. I thought he was about to attempt to do a wrestling version of Friday with Craig and Debo, but he tries to throw it, the break at Sammy. He moves out of the way, shatters the car window. And Jericho and Sammy Guevara hits a double suplex onto the car. Someone comes out. I don't know what it was. Apparently, they knew who it was. The commentators were saying his name. But he's like, that's my car. That's my car. Pretty sure he got slapped the hell up. But, yeah. That ain't your car anymore, my boy. But one of the coolest moments, at least I would have thought. Well, I will still say it's one of the coolest moments. Big Bill grabs Sammy Guevara and, tries to throw him at the wall. Sammy Guevara I don't know if he think he Tobey Maguire in the Spider-Man films.
We started out literally on the streets. Look at that! Unbelievable from Guevara!
Then he grabs a fire extinguisher. Now I'm thinking he about to hit him with it. Nah, he's
And gets fire extinguisher.
spray both of them down with the fire extinguisher. So they're already going through this crazy little street fight. Now they're bringing it to the arena. Jericho's getting cheered. He needed this. He needed it. He needed a match to be like, for him to start. Now, granted, we don't know how they're going to react later on. They could just, next venue start getting booed, but he needed this. But there's a moment. They're elevated. Jericho's about to throw Big Bill through a table. Takeshita, I don't know if he was spawn camp. I don't know what he was doing. He came out of nowhere. They need to fix the spawn points. Next patch update, they need to fix the spawn points. Takeshita comes out of nowhere like he was Randy Orton doing an RKO. I believe he hits Jericho with a kendo stick. After hitting Jericho with a kendo stick, Big Bill power bombs him through the table. Now, granted, I've seen on multiple occasions. I don't know if you wanted to consider it with this match, but I've seen on multiple occasions where someone's shoulders on the ground, especially in a Street Fighter Falls count anywhere, shoulders on the ground, and maybe they're on top, boss, or maybe just one arm is on top of them. Like, there's moments where they do a submission move, and even when their shoulders on the mat, the ref will start counting. Jericho's leg is on top of Big Bill, and his shoulders on the ground. That could have counted as a count. But we had to continue to, another spot that I said was real reminiscent of early 2000s Shane McMahon. Sammy Guevara, he climbs up a little support beam and dies off of it. Powerhouse Hobbs, I guess he using the same hacks as Takeshita. He moves, Ricky Starks out of the way. It was looking like I said, one of the things that I spammed watching because I didn't know what to look for when it came to wrestling when I was younger, was Unforgiven 2003. One of the matches, the two most watched matches that I had in that pay-per-view was Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels and Shane McMahon versus Kane. Shane McMahon versus Kane basically ended that way. Shane McMahon went up to the top of the Titantron. You know what I'm saying? He did his cross and dived off. That's not to the same degree, but that's what Sammy Guevara did. Which is kind of weird that I just hear him do an interview talking about something. Yeah, he's a father now, so he can't be doing these crazy things. 2 weeks later. Like, bro. And then they did a little replay. They did a little instant replay, and then they go up on Sammy's face, and his face was just looking like, why the hell did I just do that?
I'm never going to forget that right there. And neither will Sammy Guevara.
We get Anna Jay versus Julia Hart. Anna Jay taps out. Julia Hart retains her title. Pretty good match. Nothing special, though. Oh, and Powerhouse Hobbs puts, put Ricky Stark's arm over Sammy Guevara so they could win. Then we get Orange Cassidy versus Preston Vance. Undisputed Kingdom pulls up. They're just I think they're camping ringside. They pull out chairs and they're just camping ringside. We already know they're trying to get into something, but we don't know when or where. But Orange Cassidy retains by pinfall, and that ends Battle of the Belts. No belts were transferred. There were battles, but no victors. No new victors, basically. We got Raw. Was 45 minutes late, so I think I was streaming, and then I was like editing things, and I was trying to figure out okay, because I just started to work. I just did my first work week back at this job, and I was like, okay, so how can I do this? And okay, I can do this in the future. Then I'm like, oh shit. And for some reason, I'm thinking 9 o'clock. I don't know why I was thinking 9 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, I got it ready for Raw. It's 9 o'clock. So I click my homepage and I see Raw something. I was like, oh shit, it was 8 o'clock. I'm tripping. So I missed 45 minutes of it. And I probably didn't miss much. Turns out I was right. I didn't really miss much. The only thing to note was the Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes little promo segment. So at this moment, I said, hey, talk about these things. One of them, I already talked about the Cora Jade injury. I noted, oh, hey, this looks like a little smaller arena. I guess they stated at the beginning of the show, I don't know where they stated it, that it was due to weather issues why the arena looked weird. It looked different. Also, you're in Arkansas. Is it really popping like that, dude? Let's be honest. And then I also wanted to talk about something else. So, it was kind of weird how we can't have everything that we want. So, excessive commercials, massive PG content, and me just being busy with work or not having the cable. Why I stopped watching wrestling. But what made me comfortable about it is, well, CM Punk quit and they're burying Dolph Ziggler into oblivion. Oh, they have this program, AEW. Okay, that could be cool. Oh, they got Jericho. They got this person. Oh, now CM Punk is there. I don't really have cable like that. Is there a streaming service that I could look at it, whatever it may be? Oh, okay. And then CM Punk's going with injury. Oh, I think there's a point where he was suspended. Oh, now he's fired. Okay. Returns of Survivor Series, but a month before, Dolph Ziggler is fired. So I'm like, well, I have to watch both. So I think one of the reasons why I started watching AEW is well, he might go to AEW. Granted, he might get lost in the sauce there, but it's tough. He went to TNA. Now, first he was New Japan Pro Wrestling. He was at a little event. He officially debuted in TNA. Hopefully they do right by him. And maybe he can have his little... He can't, to the same degree, have the same Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre scenario because, he's been there longer than them. He's older than them. But, debuted in TNA. So the first match that I got to watch that night was Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae. 1 minute in the match. So in the background, and you'll see this when I put this on YouTube. In the background, you can see, I don't know if it just stood out to me, but I just remember looking at the screen and instantly seeing two kids in the background just playing around and fighting.
The former women's tag team champions before they hook of the leg.
Not really like throwing hands, but they were just like, it's like, damn kid, we're in the PG era. This wrestling is specifically for you. Watch the match, bruh. It's kind of ironic that Piper Niven was in this match, because I don't know if it was just because they were at a smaller venue and didn't want it to sound like it, but the crowd sounded piped in. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think this is the last time where there was weird or audience noises that sounded piped in out of like 5 times this week. Xavier interrupted Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser, and so we get a Xavier Woods trying to get it back in blood with for his boy Kofi. I put possible Big E return. I was like, Big E versus Gunther feud ? At this moment, I don't know that Big E's out for like a major injury. I don't know what's going on. All I just knew is I came back. I would see New Day and like doing these little social venue social things, but I didn't see any New Day like ever. The only thing I would see was Kofi Kingston. He was Santa Claus, and then he had his little tag match, and then he had his little moment where now he's, work injury. So after the fact, I was like, oh, he's out with a major injury. But granted, we seen Edge come back. We seen Christian come back. We seen all these people come back. We seen Daniel Bryan come back. We seen Paige, aka Saraya, come back. We seen all these people come back, so it is possible. We get Akira Tozawa versus Ivar. I said I like the Viking concept, but couldn't care less. This is another one of those, hey, so earlier this happened. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm over this Alpha Academy thing. I don't care. I don't care for anyone. And that I'm not rocking with any of the storylines of that. Like, swoop, like soon as I heard that, I was like, oh shit. There's two things going through my mind. One was like, I don't really care to see this, and two, oh hey, I was supposed to do this. I can go to the bathroom right now, or I can go and cook my food, whatever it may be. I was doing something. Oh hey, this is my moment where I could do this. I don't really care. I like the Viking theme, but I don't really think you get far with the Viking theme. We get Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch face off. I think this is probably, you could probably, as this is going on, if you want to continue Rhea Ripley as champion, as this is going on, you can build up Ivy Nile to be more credible and have another feud between those two, where it's not just, oh hey, I'm gonna look out for these people and we have a match for the championship, and then okay, I lost. I don't know how you go through that situation, this feud, and you don't have Becky Lynch win. Not like Rhea Ripley, but I don't know how you have someone go in the ring and be like, I think you might be better than me, but I need to prove that you're not. You can't say that and lose. You cannot say that and lose. There's a difference between well, you'd have to win that one too. I was gonna say if you did like a career versus title match where, hey, I need to beat you to prove that I can still hang here. that'll be different, but you'd have to win that one too for it to have some more emotion. I don't know. Yeah, you can't you can't say that and lose. That's tough. So then we get Awesome Truth versus Finn and Damian Priest. So we had a little that's another thing is with R-Truth and Judgment Day. Another reason why I care about, well, one, I know about R-Truth, and two, they have more backstage segments. It's like when people are like, oh, why do you watch it? It's fake. I watch it for the storylines, bro. I don't watch boxing or MMA, blah, 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 because unless it's like a Mayweather versus Conor McGregor or Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao war, it's like, this is the big event. I don't really care. Or unless it's like, oh, hey, this is blah, 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 who I know. Other than that, I don't care, bruh. So if we're just doing wrestling matches, it doesn't matter how good the match looks. You have to, the match has to look good. Well, it has to look well enough. Like, and you have to show some personality in the ring. A lot of NXT, specifically women, show more personality in the ring. Granted, they've been doing a lot of tournaments with the men in NXT, so it's a little harder with that pause. But if you can't show personality in the ring, and I don't know who you are already, am I gonna care? No. But R-Truth, there's a moment he was added to the little CGI intro for Judgment Day. I appreciate them finally putting some respect on my man's name. They know that he's in. JD, you're out, bro. I don't even know why you had a little tag team match with Dom. Maybe it's just because y'all friends or some shit. I don't know. But we had a little backstage segment, R-Truth. Basically, this is him and Damian Priest being cool. You put bread in his hand, hey, you cool? Hey, you cool by me? So he tried to give Finn his bread.
Go. Miz said he's fired up, and that
Whoa, gotta get in the ring call.
That gotta cost him a couple licks, but I appreciate the money nonetheless. Finn and Damian Priest end up winning. And Damian Priest looked like he had to get that dub reluctantly. He told you not to tag in, bro, and you started the match. Then we get Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Tegan Nox and Natalya. I said, how many times are we going to watch the same match just for them to lose? Anytime, listen, I'm sorry. I don't know why Michael Cole said that. This tag team impressed me, blah, blah, blah. Ever since I've seen Natalya lose for years, so that's not even surprising. So, but ever since I've seen Tegan Nox and Natalya, I've seen them do nothing but lose. I don't know if they've ever won. So I don't know why Michael Cole said that last week or 2 weeks ago, one or the other. But I just know anytime you're in a match, okay, why am I watching this? You're about to lose. Especially since Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, I think it's a new tag team. We're building them up. We're not gonna have them just lose, especially to y'all two. Then we get is it really a main event? We get Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins. Now I gotta comment on this. Granted, you're the head of the company, but are we really going to like shit on Tony Khan for what he was saying about Jinder Mahal? It doesn't make sense. Now, granted, okay, we can give the small W to Jinder for being like, who the fuck is Hook? But still. And then someone's like, it's like if you make fun of your friend you're laughing, but like no one can make fun. Okay, you have to make it clear as day. It's like if your friend does something that's like, hey, don't do that, but someone else says that, I'm not gonna be like, you can't say that to my friend. No, that's a clear thing that they should do. Now if you said, bro, like, there's multiple times you say to your friend, man, you ugly as shit, bro, stop it. You just be joking around, like, I mean, and even if obvious, sometimes it'd be two guys, like, you're not gonna be like, damn, you cute, like, no. But I'm saying, someone make a face, like a weird face, and that's whether it's two guys, two girls, or a guy and a girl. You might joke around like when they make a weird face, bro, you ugly, bro, stop, don't do that. And so that's that you can compare to that situation. But this is more or less of, let's say I was musty all the time, and my friend said, you're musty. Or no, let's say I had a friend who's musty, so I can, like, it's easier for me to use this analogy. But let's say my friend is musty, and I said, bro, you're musty, like, you need to hit the shower, bro. And someone else said they're musty, I'm not gonna be like, you can't tell my friend he's musty. No, the nigga musty. So I don't know why. Listen, y'all know y'all don't want Ginger to win the championship, and the people who say that do want him to win, 99% of them are trolling, dude. It's like when they have polls on YouTube, who's the better rapper? And then they'll say like 3 rappers, and then the other person will be like SpongeBob or something. Like, obviously SpongeBob don't got bars, bro. But they're gonna click that one to troll. My bad, I hit the mic. So we get Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins. Granted, I will give y'all the little, cause for the fact that I'm like, I know damn well y'all are not about to make this man champion. There's no way. So as being just a one-time thing, it's not that big of a deal, but it's tough. But Damian Priest came out, started camping. There's a little rope break botch. So Seth Rollins hits a move. As soon as they're by the ropes, and I don't know who is. I wasn't watching when Jinder Mahal came champion. So I don't know who his posse. I don't know their names. They're by the ropes. I'm like, okay, they're about to put his foot in the rope. I already knew what time it was. They go to put his foot in the rope, but it doesn't get there all the way. And so, like, the only time the ref would see the foot is on the rope, they would see that those people put the foot on the rope. Because by the time they backed up and backed away from it, his foot was not on the rope. And so that's when the ref should have saw the foot still on the rope. So they had a little mess up they had a little whoopsie right there. So next thing you know, like I said, Damian Priest out there camping. Drew McIntyre said, hey, you ruined my night last week or the week before. I'm going to ruin your night. So then he comes up and he gets all in Drew McIntyre's face. Or he gets all in Damian Priest's face. Damian Priest hit him with a clean mink. And so they go fighting outside. They go fighting out the arena. Like, during the match, you can see them in the background on the ramp throwing hands. But Seth Rollins thankfully ends up retaining. But after the match, and as Raw is going off air, he looks defeated. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's tired. I don't know if maybe there's a botch besides the little rope break botch that I was talking about earlier. But he looked defeated. He looked like he really lost.
Who retains the World Heavyweight Championship.
But that's gonna conclude this episode of Here We Go Again. So, they should be a shorter in the future. hopefully I could talk about more storylines instead of just breaking down matches. Maybe I could just bring little moments here and there. And then also, yeah, like I said, in the future, I'm going to try to adjust when I do these. Probably going to be like on Sundays, because most pay-per-views, I'm still going to call them pay-per-views. I'm not calling them PLEs. Are on Saturdays. And only time is like Sunday for WrestleMania. So, but y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Thumbs up, subscribe, stay tuned for the next one, and I'm out.